Hey everybody, Blind Way Back. I'm Aaron.
I'm Eric.
And we are having our Q&A for, not the Flash, not the Arrow, for the Arrowverse.
Now some people will say, the Arrowverse, you mean?
Yeah, but then they add in like a Green Lantern series, and then what are you going to call it?
The Flare of tomorrow.
Like, is it called the Arrowverse?
I call it the Arrowverse because Arrow started it, and he deserves that recognition.
Yeah. If Supergirl gets pulled into it, then the Super Flareverse?
Yep.
Super Flareverse of tomorrow?
Or DC Television, but you can't really do that because Gotham.
The CW-verse? Yeah. That's what it should be.
CW-verse.
Bring in Supernatural, bring in, what are some of those other ones they have that are pretty cool?
Smallville?
Bring all those
Smallville!
in one awesome universe, that'd be sweet.
Oh, I'm still holding out, we've talked about this in other Q&As, but I'm still holding out hope that Tom Welling comes in as Superman in this season. It must happen!
Just to come from another Earth, just to go back in or something like that? Like, I'm here. What's this place? I'm going home. He's only on screen for 10 seconds?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I just watched that 10 seconds for the rest of my life until I die.
That's it?
Yeah. Which would be very soon after that, because I wouldn't eat. I just keep watching it. If I don't eat like in an hour, I die. Alright,
so we're going to look into some of our Arrow Flash questions that we got.
Yeah, we're going to do them all in one big, giant, not super long video, but yeah.
Yeah.
So let's watch them. Or no.
Let's watch some questions. Kanye West says, Patty was right in shooting Harry, but damn, she shot to kill him. She could have at least wounded him.
I don't agree, because he had what she thought was a gun, which looked like a gun.
Yeah.
And he goes, wait a second.
That's true.
I mean, she's a trained police officer, and I know there's a whole lot of stuff in the media now that's like, well, they didn't have to kill him. It's like, look, it's either you or them at that point when there's somebody putting out a gun, you know?
True. Now, if you had, like, maybe something that was more like a blade that didn't look like a gun, then, like, you shoot him in the leg, you back up, you're okay.
I mean, you could say it's true, but even then, I mean, knives can be thrown. Also, depending on how far away you are from somebody, I mean, if you are not ready to shoot to kill, that person's 10 feet away, they can kill you before you can even get up the idea to shoot, you know? Mm-hmm. So, I think Patty is completely in the right, not only in her self-defense as a police officer, but the fact that they chose not to tell her anything
at all,
and not lock the fucking door.
Yes! What? I thought in the beginning of the season they said, specifically, we've upped security.
Yes.
And then Jay Garrick showed up, and they're like, what the hell?
Now
Patty just jumped on in.
Now, to piggyback off this, there is a theory that is, I don't know if it's in our comments. I think I read it on something else.
Okay.
But there's a theory that Harrison Wells specifically lured.
See, I thought about that, because like, I wasn't sure why he went outside.
He went outside after he argued with Jay Garrick, and Jay's like, I'm not going to do this. And he said, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get Jay, or something like that. He lures Patty there. She shoots him.
Then they have to get Jay.
And they have to get Jay.
That's pretty risky, though.
Okay, but it's very risky, but Harrison Wells is nothing if not a risk taker. But this is the theory. When you first see the serum, it's a different color than when we see it the next time, right?
Okay.
What if he switched out the serum, and what he's doing, he's trying to prove that Jay has faked not having his powers. He gives him what ultimately ends up to be sugar water. Jay acts like, I'm getting my powers back, I got it, you know? Now, I don't necessarily trust this theory. I think that the serum is legit. But I thought that was very interesting because the colors were different in the two serums. If Jay is doing that, is he Zoom or is he just too afraid?
Is he too afraid to actually fight?
He's saying he doesn't have his power? That's interesting. I like it, but I don't like it. So no.
Alright, let's look at the next question here. Next Q&A is from Theo Samurai.
Ooh, Theo Samurai.
He says, I think Oliver's baby mama is gonna die and then he has to raise his son and maybe train him. And a cool possibility would be to have a future version of his son who comes back to the past and is older and trained and is called the Red Arrow and joins the Arrow team to prevent a future disaster to occur. Similar to Future Trunks from DPC.
Oh man, that's pretty awesome. That would be cool. Now, his first part where he thinks that the baby mama is going to die and that leaves William with him. Now, I've been saying since day one when we saw that grave that I thought it was either the kid or the mom. I definitely think it's gonna be the mom, and because Oliver just went through this thing where like, I'm going to try to be part of my son's life, but I'm not gonna tell anybody. I'm gonna keep that separate. I'm mom's friend that comes and visits, you know, and then she's gonna be killed or die or something, and that kid's gonna have nothing but Oliver, and then we're gonna get some drama there. I think that's gonna happen.
That's actually I'm okay with that. You know, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Between that and Lance Stein, I'm okay with both of those.
Okay.
So, the idea of him like growing up a son to be a sidekick, or to like take over his mantle when he's gone.
With Oliver's resistance to Laurel and Thea and pretty much everybody being a hero, like at first he does not want that to happen. That's probably going to be triple-fold with his son.
Probably. Yeah.
So with the idea that maybe the kid is trained by, it could be similar to Batman. Batman eventually had a kid who was trained by the League of Assassins and then became the new Robin, Damian Wayne. Maybe like Malcolm will take the kid or something like that. True. If Oliver refuses.
Or like if something happens too, like if Oliver was to leave or die, then like other members of the team could train him. Yeah. Or if like Roy came back and trained him. Or
yeah, I mean, maybe Thea takes control. Right now she is Speedy. Maybe she raises him or something like that, or trains him, because that would be her nephew.
Mm-hmm.
But
and she has Malcolm Merlin's training.
And Malcolm is her father. Maybe she takes him to the league. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities there. Now, we do need to note that the kid's name is William. In the comics, Oliver does have a son. His name is Connor Hawke.
Okay.
Who I believe eventually becomes a Green Arrow. Becomes the Green Arrow.
It's ironic that we met Hawkman and Hawkgirl or whatever, and also met Connor Hawke all in the same episode.
This could be a matter of maybe just Oliver has two sons, and the first one's named William, and he'll eventually have, with Felicity, Connor Hawke or something like that. Or Connor
Why
Smoke.
Hawke? I'm saying, there's no one Hawke in the...
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Do we know that girl's first and last name? His baby mama?
Samantha?
Samantha, we don't know her last name, right?
I don't think so.
So he could be William Hawke.
It could be, yeah. Maybe it's William Connor Hawke or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Or he changes his name later. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, yeah, that's some really cool stuff. I like the little idea he has of he comes back in time.
That could be cool.
They're like the same age.
Yeah.
And it's like Trunks and Dragon Ball.
Flash brings him back in time with him or something like that, So you get future Flash and...
We could see like William or Connor in Legends of Tomorrow. They go to the future.
That could be cool.
Because Oliver's not in it. I mean, they have like a Green Arrow like there, but it's not Oliver.
Yeah, it's his son. It's his son who's taken the mantle. That would be really cool. I like that.
Damn, man. What's next?
Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey says, I think it's kind of weird how in one episode Barry caught a bullet going into his neck, but could barely catch knives in this episode.
Yes. Do we know how fast Vandal Savage can throw knives?
No,
I mean, probably not super speed.
You wouldn't think so, but I mean, he does have some powers,
But he threw like a bunch at a time, right? And he didn't.
Then he threw like another one.
Well, yeah, he did that because he knew Flash was going to catch them all. Because this already happened once when they met in the coffee shop.
Yeah,
it's weird to see Vandal Savage in a coffee shop. So he threw them all, and then he threw the next one to get him.
Get Flash.
Yeah, and it worked. Barry's speed has always been a little inconsistent. Like in the first season, he's just sitting in a car with Joe, and lightning strikes, right? Lightning strikes the car, and Barry sees it and gets Joe out the car. That's when the Weather Wizard... I think it was like the Weather Wizard, like the first one, right?
First Weather Wizard.
Lightning strikes are at the speed of light.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, he saw it and stopped it.
So in the first season, before he went through time and stuff, he's going faster than the speed of light.
But then other times he can't.
But in other times, he's like, I can hit Mach 1 or Mach 2,
Yeah.
So Barry's speed has always been a little inconsistent. Honestly, what the fact is that he's as fast as the story needs him to be, Yeah. But I still, even though when I first watched it, in my back of my head, I'm going like, you should be able to catch all this real quick. I mean, Zoom was catching bullets.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
But he's not as fast as Zoom.
Well, Zoom is 3 times faster, and these are knives. They're not going
Knives
as
should
fast.
be at least 3 times slower than bullets.
Yes. So anyway, I understand what you're going for, but the fanboy in me is like, so it's fun to watch.
Gotcha.
What do you think?
No, I mean, it was fun to watch. When I was first watching it, I enjoyed that, like, oh, he's gonna get him all, yeah. Oh, he got hit with a knife. Ooh, he threw it just the right time to try to okay. So
it was funny watching you react because you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, bow. You do that sometimes. You do this weird you can't breathe.
Do it. No.
Stop it.
Do you think the inconsistencies there sometimes are a little weird? She's like, well, he just did this last episode. Why doesn't he do this now?
Yeah.
But a lot of times when I'm watching it initially, it's still cool then. And then it's later on when I'm like, well,
True.
maybe he could have done this.
Yeah.
So, usually in the episodes, though, I'm not too out of it.
Yeah.
So, at least I enjoy the episodes then. Then I'm, thinking about it more. I'm like, well, so...
Yeah.
Maybe they can get, a solid speed consistency down. Where,
I don't know. I'm never going to do math, so I don't care.
True. True.
Yeah.
Alrighty. This is a fun little question by Joe Sire. Is that a Star Wars Black Series Bosk figure in the background?
Oh! No, it's, Okay, so I got this around the time Revenge of the Sith came out. This is actually, I don't know if you guys remember, they had they were called Unleashed figures.
Ah.
And this was an Unleashed one. I also have a Obi-Wan and an Anakin that are fighting each other.
That's cool.
I have that somewhere, and I have
Spoilers.
I have an Asajj Ventress one somewhere too.
Oh, back here, right? This thing?
Oh yeah. Yeah, hiding behind a poster.
Kind of hidden behind the flash.
Yeah, I lost the lightsabers though, but she's going forward. This is kind of based off of the Clone Wars 2D cartoon that came out.
Oh yeah, the old.
It's a realistic version.
The
of
original
that.
Cartoon Network little series.
So and I just love Star Wars, but I've always loved this Bosk figure, so I put it back there. So
I like Bosk.
Yep.
Bosk
So that's what those are.
Alrighty. Corey Hawks says this may be a stupid question, but have we seen Jay and Zoom together other than when he was telling his story about fighting him? It may be a long shot, but maybe Jay is Zoom, and the scene we see him fighting Zoom is just a story to fool the group. If that's the case, it kind of matches with the theory we talked about earlier about Harrison Wells trying to giving him sugar water to make him speed up.
See, I understand what he's saying. I do think that's a long shot, simply because I personally am not a fan of seeing scenes that are not real.
Yeah.
I've said this before in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If Will from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not the monster and they just shot all those scenes with him and the astronauts, I don't like when they do that, you know? I like whenever it's cleverly edited,
More of how the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Andrew thing kind of went down, where they kind of showed you part of it, but not all of it.
Absolutely. I would want to see, Jay falling to the ground, but you never really see Zoom, and that's just something else that'll tie into the story later. So, if they did that, I wouldn't hate it. It would be a cool story to see Jay, Garrick maybe becoming Zoom. But I'm pretty certain it's Henry Allen right now. I don't think it's Jay, and I don't think they would show a scene that did not happen.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I would really hate that they took, because they also showed all this stuff with Harrison Wells and Jay arguing with him, complaining about Zoom and metahumans and all this stuff, and you're just trying to make money.
Yeah.
But
Jay Garrick he's the Golden Age Flash.
Yeah.
I don't want to diminish his character by making him what might be a one-off villain if Zoom is dead at the end of the season.
Yeah, I wouldn't I'd like to see Jay stay a hero.
Yeah.
Or I'd love to see him Flash Barry is failing and doing terribly and Jay comes in and saves the day somehow or something like that, and maybe he doesn't destroy Zoom, but he does something to turn the tide over.
What I kind of love? I'd kind of love if he went with Legends of Tomorrow, because Barry's not, and then Connor Hawke becomes a Legend of Tomorrow,
Ooh, that'd be cool.
And we have a Flash and Arrow on the team, but they're not those guys.
That'd be kind of cool.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Pretty neat.
Or have the Hood.
You know what'd be neat is if that Flash and then Roy.
Yeah.
The characters we've already been introduced.
Arsenal.
Yeah, we've already been introduced to them. We know them, but now they're going and helping them sometimes make that. That'd be cool. Because then we still get the Flash and Arrow, but they're not Connor Hawke would be a brand new Arrow we've never met before. But it would be neat too to see this is what he becomes.
We don't want too many guys with Arrow. There's a lot of guys with bows and arrows. There's Huntress and there's Cupid and there's everybody.
Yeah.
And there's on
a
Earth 2. There's the Hood, the Robert Queen.
Yeah. There's Dark Archer or whatever.
And
Dark
he probably has Lance as a Black Canary. And
Agent 79 says when Hawkman or Hawkgirl are reincarnated, are they born again immediately following their death as babies? Does the other have to wait 30-some years for them to grow up?
Okay, so if Hawkman dies while they're like 25, and she's still 25. Will she be 60 when he comes back? You know, and then like we love each other.
Yeah.
No, get away.
Like, if Vandal Savage might be coming back,
Yeah.
right? If he's reincarnated, does he come back as a baby Vandal Savage and has to grow back up?
Oh, I don't know.
You know, like because they're all connected in that same kind of reincarnating circle thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they work with that. That's weird.
They even mentioned that little thing, like, so if he's dead, does that mean you two are immortal?
Yeah.
It could kind of go with the whole Harry Potter Voldemort, like, the other one, while the other one survives, the other one can't die.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, maybe that's the case. They're tethered to each other, so until he comes back, he'll come back and they'll stay alive, because they're locked in that eternal conflict, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll become more powerful now that he's dead. Well, he didn't.
Maybe.
They didn't like suck his soul like he was doing that.
Yeah, when they died,
It has begun. Yeah.
like
Your soul is
got
mine.
more powerful and they caused that giant blast.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
I don't know. The one thing was kind of interesting thing about this now is that in their flashbacks, now they could have just done it to be like a little bit more, hey, just so you know, this is this person, this is this person. But their Egyptian selves look just like their present day selves, you know? They're not reincarnated with a different person or look or anything, you know? So I don't know if they're just going to be reincarnated as the same person, just they appear on Earth, you know? Crashed in a field like Superman.
Oh, no, I think they're born because she had a name. I'm sure she had parents. I'm sure that it's just, the soul is being reused.
So they just...
And they just happen to look like...
They just have some kind of like, just some random people that have like an Egyptian-looking baby kind of thing.
Sure.
Like,
I guess.
In America.
Maybe.
I was born in Missouri. Like, what?
Maybe it's something to do with certain descendants or something like that.
Maybe. I don't know.
But that guy does not look like he's Egyptian.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like she's Egyptian either, but. You know, I mean, most Egyptians, you know, depending on what time frame you're looking at, were African. You know, because Egypt is in Africa.
Yeah, true.
I almost said African American. What an idiot I am, trying to be BC. The Egyptians were African American. Sorry.
Corey Weston says Moira gave Samantha 2 checks. She gave her $1 million to tell Oliver she had miscarried, and then she gave her another $1 million to move to Central City and never speak of Oliver again. Samantha only has 1 check. What happened to the other? Clearly, she must have cashed it.
Did she give her a check?
I don't know if she gave her 2. Did she give her 2?
Yeah, okay, so did she pay her off twice, is the question. I don't remember.
I remember the scene where she clearly gave her a check, but
Yeah.
I don't remember any other scenes where she did more than 1. You know what I mean?
I mean, what are we saying here? We're saying, like, well, did she just go to Central City, buy a house with one of the checks, money, and has been living off of that, and then has the gall to say, Oliver, what have you ever done for my child? You know?
Yeah, and being like, well, I didn't want her kind of money.
Or did she have the ability to get that check cashed, didn't, and then, like, you know, fought and became a single mother and got 3 jobs
and got there.
bought a house, and she's doing all of that, and then Oliver's trying to bring himself into that world.
Yeah.
I like that better.
That's more impressive if you're just like, I didn't want any of your money, I did all myself.
Well, yeah, impressive, but it's in terms of, like, the story. And then if she ends up being the one that dies, she went through all that work and then she died, oh my gosh, I'm so emotional. Okay, keep going.
Unconcerned Ursidae? Unconcerned bear? Ursidae is that like
Ursidae?
Ursa is like a Ursa Major and Ursa Minor are like the
Constellation.
So is Ursidae like something like a bear? I don't know. Anyway, unconcerned Ursidae. I think Malcolm helped defeat Savage because Thea was going to be in danger. He also says he knew nothing about him, yet he quoted his little death speech from the flashback. And I think he had a plan to somehow revive him. It's like Malcolm said, he owes him one.
Yeah, when I was editing this, I missed this the first time, but he said, like, you owe me one, buddy. Like, you owe me one, buddy.
When was that?
It was whenever he was looking, like, the shot was, like, from the little
when he was getting the ash?
He's like, you owe me one, buddy. So, like, it made it sound like he knew who he was.
Huh. So maybe he's playing both sides
Why would he try to unite those two against him, though? Because those two are going to be the only ones in this timeline right now that can beat him. Malcolm helped... I mean, to be fair, he did not ever show his face to Vandal Savage. He only ever... Well, yeah, he did. He
was in that meeting.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he was there.
I'm crazy. He didn't help fight,
no.
but he refused to fight because they knew they couldn't beat him, and
the only thing he really did was he brought in that meeting.
Yes.
Now, maybe it was something of doing, like, maybe he was there, like, if this happens, then Vandal gets what he wants. If it doesn't happen, then he dies, then I'll be there to resurrect him.
Yeah.
And then he gets more powerful if he gets resurrected somehow or something.
See, I missed that line where he says, "You owe me one, buddy," and I was thinking that, okay, he's going to try to take Vandal's power somehow, because he's lost the Lazarus Pit, or at least one of them.
Yeah.
And he's going to try to figure out the secret of immortality. But with that, it makes it sound more of like, alright, you screwed up, now you're going to owe me one. The most powerful man in the world is going to owe Ra's al Ghul a favor. That's pretty sweet. I don't know.
Maybe it's taking out Damien Dark.
It could be.
You know?
Maybe he can teach him.
What?
He brings him back. You owe me one. What do you want me to do? Use your mysticism to fix my daughter, Thea.
The Thea bloodline.
It could be that.
He does a lot of stuff for Thea.
Yeah.
You know, that's why he's always doing that. Even Unconcerned said about Thea was going to be in danger, so maybe that helped.
It could be that. It also could be something like Vandal Savage. He's been around since the beginning. He could have been the initial Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, maybe he knows another Lazarus Pit.
Ooh, he could know that too.
You know, he's been around everywhere, you know?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Malcolm. I enjoyed Malcolm this episode, though. He was very Batman.
Every episode I enjoy him, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
He's awesome. I love the actor. John Barrowman's awesome.
Barrowman!
He's so cool.
Yeah.
Everything he's in is great. Luffy Nomi, I think?
Okay.
Says, I think Felicity's point is that she believes that sharing your problems with people you love and care for would be a relief, to help share the blow. This whole episode showed how Oliver's distrust, while well-intentioned, is not for the best. Felicity believed that they were close enough to be able to turn to one another. She probably could have been less confrontational and more soothing, though.
The thing is that Felicity didn't take it as look, you love me, share this with me, and then it'll be a relief to you. We'll help share the blow. She took it as, you don't love me if you don't tell me this right now. In fact, you hid it from me, showing that you don't trust me. But Oliver, and when I was editing this, I didn't notice this. Oliver said, look, we're dealing with something right now. There is something going on, and I will tell you. I just can't tell you now. Mm-hmm. So he was eventually going to tell her.
That was before the Flashpoint timeline jumped back in, right?
Absolutely. That was the beginning of the episode, when they were walking in from the garden or whatever. So he did say, look, I'm going to tell you, I just can't right now. And I said it before in the reaction, I think Oliver deserved
a little time,
some private moments to think about this. And another reason I didn't like this, because, I mean, when it comes to Felicity, I really like Felicity. Mm-hmm. I think that the writers make some strange choices. The strangest of them, having her break up, or not break up, but get so, to me, unreasonably mad about something an hour before they're going to go fight the first man, I almost said Randall. Vandal Savage. You know what I'm saying?
Then his head wasn't in the game.
And I kept using the word selfish then, because I felt like that was kind of okay, you killed Oliver. Because
you killed a city.
Because you couldn't wait for him to come to you on his own time. Did he lie? He did lie. He made up a lie, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't do it maliciously. He didn't do it fuck her. He's I gotta sort this out before I hurt anybody else. Yeah. He didn't know how she was gonna react. She said, by the way, I would have been okay with it. He didn't know that,
True.
So, I think that Felicity was being unreasonable. I don't think the fans are being... I think some fans are being very hard on her.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they're without reason.
The one thing that I thought was interesting that you also point out, too, is that maybe it was also a point of being hey, I know everyone hated the whole Felicity Oliver thing back in Season 3. Here's what they used to do.
Yeah. And then Flash fixes everything.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing it anymore.
We're fixing that.
I think that would be awesome if they did that.
Yeah, because the two different flashpoints that they had, the two timelines were so drastically different. And
absolutely.
Part of it is what Oliver handled and what Felicity found out and stuff. I wonder now, because at the end of the last little clip, when he said about no, everything's okay, because he can't tell her now.
Yeah.
She kind of had a little looking around, something's not right. I need to figure it out,
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that she will understand or give him some time, maybe.
Yeah.
But still, at the same time, I think he shouldn't be lying necessarily. Just say, hey, I want to figure something out, and then I will tell you, or something.
I agree.
Yeah. You should give her a little something. Just say, hey, I will talk to you, just not right now.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know.
I just think that in all the directions they can go from from the crossover they had, right? And they have Damien Stark still out there, Damien Dark is still out there, and there's a whole lot of directions you go. I don't want to go down the street that ends with "You don't trust me" and all that stuff.
And she runs out to Ray.
I just personally don't find it very entertaining, and I don't think they've handled it well in the past. I think it frustrates people more than entertains them.
True.
So just let Oliver be happy in that aspect, and have the drama come from he's got a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. That should be the main drama. I like that.
Awesome. Yep.
Next question. Hussey 1992.
Hussey.
Am I the only one who thinks Samantha, William's mom, was selfish in demanding to keep it a secret from Felicity? Yeah, in the fight between Oliver / Felicity, Felicity was kind of selfish.
I don't know if I would necessarily think that she was selfish because of that reason, keeping it from Felicity. I thought that she was being, I think that she was being very reasonable, and I respect her if, in fact, she didn't cash any of the money.
Yeah.
She did all that stuff. I respect that. I felt like her demanding things of Oliver, like, legally, Oliver is that kid's birth father.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she can't legally keep him away if he wanted to pursue that.
There's some custody things, depending on how custody's set up. Now, I don't know with him not knowing anything, there probably wasn't any of that kind of stuff implemented.
Well, I mean...
For, 10 years or whatever, it's been only that as the mother. There's probably some custody laws that would protect it, where I know people that, like, when they try to go see their biological son, they had to go through lawyers and loopholes and jump hoops just to try to see their son,
True. I'm just saying, like, is Oliver's name on the birth certificate? I'm assuming probably not.
So probably, as far as everyone knows, custody is strictly the mother's, which means she should have legal rights of saying who gets to see the son. Now, the fact that the father now just finds out and she kept it from him, I'm not sure how legally that fits into the whole thing.
I'm not really sure either, I guess. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of strange that, like, she was making all these demands to a guy that, for all intents and purposes, you lied to about. Even if you didn't take the money.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you didn't accept a bribe, but you still did what Maury wanted.
Yeah, you did what my mother wanted.
Yeah.
You didn't ask me what I wanted. You never told me. I thought the baby was gone.
I thought it was kind of weird that she was like making all these demands and accusing him of having this crazy life that she doesn't even know about.
Yeah.
Especially with she said, like, I know you lost your father and your mother and all this stuff terrible happened to you, but fuck you.
Yeah. Now, with the whole Felicity thing, I think it's one thing to be like, I don't know if I want you to be in his life that much yet.
Yeah.
Like, the kind of, like, you can go and talk to him, don't tell me you're the father or whatever she said with that. But the fact that he just can't tell, like, she specifically said, whoever you're with, you can't tell him. Right?
Yeah, that was weird.
Like,
that's trying to set up
just
the
saying,
drama.
Just saying that you can't tell Felicity. Like, why? Why can't I just say,
hey,
here's the girl I'm with. I'm just going to let her know whenever I'm coming to Central City randomly is to see my biological son, and I'll keep everything else out of touch.
Why does she care? What do you think Felicity's going to do? Like, I'm the mom now!
Yeah, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. I think that she should... It makes sense that, hey, you're with that girl? Yeah. Okay, fine. Let her know. That way she shouldn't think you're coming here cheating on her.
Yeah.
Or coming here, like, doing something you're not supposed to, or whatever.
That's a great point. I completely didn't really think about that. You're completely right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I like this. Bizchek 881126 says, so guys, Barry changed the future. Does that mean we won't get the grave story anymore? Like, things could change, right?
We'll get the grave story.
Probably.
I think like Barry changed what came out that day.
Maybe he changed who's going to be in the grave. Actually, no. I think he changed the future to where we will get the grave story now. Because before, in the original timeline, we wouldn't have had it.
You're right.
Because everyone would have been dead.
That's how... That's not... I don't know. Flash is sometimes... I don't know why we do this, but sometimes we give Flash, like, it's a comic. But for heroes, like, it doesn't make sense! Maybe we were set on a different timeline, and what they showed us before was 6 months in the future was actually another timeline that now we are on track with. So, Barry always went back into the future, and because he did that, that timeline that we've already seen is continuing. Is what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah, so what we saw before is the current timeline we're on, which they would have, maybe that's the same way to look at before with the whole Wizard timeline jump back, is that, we were on a different timeline and they just set us on the correct one.
It's like in season 1 when like they were like, Barry, you can go through time, and they're like, obviously he's already done it. Like the thing has already happened, and we set that course there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a giant wormhole didn't show up in this.
No,
you know,
no.
so there was no like self-healing universe thing going on with Firestorm sacrificing himself. So if that's the case, yes, the grave story still applies.
Yep. Immer Fan says they didn't get their powers from a god. Yes, they prayed to one, but that was because they thought the gods were real and sending the Skyrocks.
Okay.
It is the Skyrocks or meteors that have the power. They have been making armor and weapons out of it when they first started falling. It is the meteor that has given Vandal Savage, Hawkman, and Hawkgirl their power.
Okay, so the Staff of Horus and that knife, that was from a previous Skyrock. And then whenever these ones came, like, something happened because they were killed with them, you know?
Yeah.
So something gave them that power.
Somehow,
it
like,
wasn't a god, it wasn't Horus.
Somehow the meteor falling and the stones in those staves and stuff
From,
like that.
From what I understand, it's called ninth metal or ninth metal or something like that. It was apparently it's like a thing, but it's like it's some kind of I don't know, but what to say? It's some kind of meteoric rock that has some kind of power to it, kind of like kryptonite in a way.
Okay.
So it's more of a scientific based thing because I felt it was kind of strange to like wait, a god gave them their power, you know?
There's Thor. Thor's a god, right?
He's not in DC.
No, but this is the Thor of DC.
Thor's an alien. He's not a god. Remember, he says like in the first movies, like science and magic or religion or something like that. Like in my world, they are one and the same.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's some mysticism to Thor, but you know they're on a different they're a different dimension. They're not in heaven. You know, they fight different races, and then he knows about the Infinity Stones, which are in the cosmos, and so I think the Asgardians are like a higher form of being. They're not necessarily like gods. That makes sense? I'm not sure.
I didn't think about it that way, but I do like that. I like that the meteors gave them their power, though.
I like that better than Horus.
Well, they haven't done. I mean, they have done some magic stuff, and they've done like
mysticism.
They've done some demons and things like that.
We don't know how they're doing it though. What is that box that Damien Dark has?
Yeah, we don't know what that is.
And it seemed like Vandal Savage did not have any mysticism powers in the Egyptian part. We didn't see anything. He was stabby.
Well, they didn't seem to have powers then either.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, is that something he has since learned, like throughout his time on Earth?
Probably.
Because he didn't seem to have any of that stuff, even though he looked like Jafar.
Well, I think that was where he originated.
Yeah. Well, I know.
Right.
Yeah, that's where he originated. But I'm just saying, like. I don't think he was a mystic back then, you know? Well, I think he's a mystic now.
What mystical stuff did he do?
He was able to take his handcuffs off of
and put there,
and then he disappeared alive. That's more Batman-like.
Yeah, he could just
But he did do a mystical thing there, and we know Damien Dark does it. How do they get it? Maybe there's something connected with the meteor rocks. Maybe a meteor rock is on the island. And someone did say this, the Eye of Horus was that thing that Constantine took from the island, is what they said. So that was
Red Orb
that
thing?
was something Horus took. So that could be a meteor rock thing.
That could tie back in somehow, maybe. Maybe they'll bring him back or something, I don't know.
We'll see.
Agent 79 says, I assume that Oliver's Constantine tattoo is going to help him later in the season in defeating someone with magical abilities. Do you think it will be used against Damien Dark or Vandal Savage?
See, I had thought when he got that tattoo, it would make him immune to like mysticism or something.
It didn't prevent Damien from. He's done it twice now, trying to absorb his life.
His power. It hasn't done anything. So, what could it do? He said like you'll thank me sometime, or sometime you'll be appreciative of this, or something like that.
What does it do though? I don't even know what it says. Does he know what it says?
I don't know.
Maybe it's a spell. Maybe they can like decode it and then read it and do something with it.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Some kind of signal.
Maybe it opens like a phantom zone, and he can like push Damien Dark into it.
Or like it like saves him from death or something like that. Like he dies and it's like and it's like a fairy comes out.
That'd be kind of cool. I kind of forgot about that.
I did too. I completely forgot about that, and I'm really interested to see what that is.
Now, they did very well with the gun on the mantle, kind of back on the island, and then like they probably haven't really referenced it since then. Yeah. And then all of a sudden something's gonna happen, and it's gonna be like, hey, this saves you.
There'd be no reason. It'd be so weird if it never came back up.
Right? They just don't do it.
So it has to happen. Something has to happen there.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen now. One more question is from Shadow Phoenix. It's funny how in part 1, Team Flash didn't see Andy in a cage. Did they move him? I didn't even think about it.
They never went through the garage, because that's where their prison is, in the garage.
Is that where
right?
it is? They have
That's
it
where Lance came in there, with that door in the background.
Yeah.
And then that's where they have their prison.
Yeah, he just drove his car into it, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was like down underground, but I don't know how they're doing all these sorts of things. Like,
I don't know either. Like, where is it?
I don't know. Hawkgirl just like goes walking out.
Yeah.
Like she didn't come out. Like in the elevator, also in his like mayor, like.
Is it in the mayor thing? I guess it is because I think it is. I don't know.
So like I don't know. Like there's got to be more ways in then.
Yeah.
They don't. Every time they go in, they got like, who's all these people? Oh, don't worry about them. We're going to. Where'd that elevator come from?
It would be weird if. Well, I mean, maybe they just didn't bother to go in the garage because it would be weird if they just like that's him. He's my brother. What? Because they were so flippant about like, oh yeah, Oliver Queen's the Arrow. Oh okay, you know the Arrow? Yep.
Who's that guy in the cage?
Yeah.
We don't talk about him. Don't worry about him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really think about him. That is kind of funny though. That where is he?
Mm-hmm.
Who is this?
Yep.
All right. You have anything else you want to say?
I think that's it.
Good. Okay. All right, guys. That's gonna wrap up this Q&A for the Arrowverse. We covered a lot of Flash and Arrow stuff today, so I'm excited to see Flash and Arrow this week. This is gonna be the mid-season finale, right?
I know.
Right?
We'll have a bit of a break, but I'm really happy. We know, like we said it before, we think Wally West is going to be in there. I don't know anything about Arrow.
I might have heard something maybe about Arrow.
What?
And I'm wondering if it's going to come to fruition.
What
in
is
this
it?
episode. I won't tell you.
Is it good?
I'm not going to be a jerk and tell you like you told me.
Is it good?
No. Yeah, maybe. Not bad.
Yeah, cool. Don't put in the comments what it is, because
No.
I'm not watching this stuff until later.
Don't say it. So,
I want to watch now! Grodd! He's the Arrow!
Dude, it'd be awesome if they see Grodd in the future somehow.
Yeah.
Like he comes back into Earth 1. Make sure you guys are leaving any comments down below of thoughts or theories. No spoilers, but leave thoughts and theories down below. And we're going to have some dead time soon, so there's going to be some more stuff popping up.
Mm-hmm.
You might see it here on YouTube. You might also see it at blindwave.net, where we're going to be releasing some things exclusively there.
Yeah.
Eventually they'll come to YouTube, but not right away. So make
Things that people have been asking for non-stop forever, what we're going to be doing, but you'll be able to find them at blindwave.net.
Yes. So make sure you guys are keeping an eye on that. Also watch our Twitter and Facebook, because we should... usually I try to announce whenever new stuff is popping up. So make sure you guys are following our Twitter, which is blindwaveprod, as well as our Facebook page, which is blindwave productions.
Yep.
So also we have our support page with our store, which just recently launched. There's a few things on there. We're working on getting more stuff up there. We also have our Patreon account, which is patreon.com/blindwave. Make sure you guys check that out. Every little bit helps. We thank you all for everyone's support. We also have our P.O. Box. If you guys have anything, we've gotten a few things through that.
Yeah,
we've had some cool pictures and stuff like that too, from like links on Twitter and whatnot. So we appreciate all that. We've been trying to put all that on our fan page at blindwave.net, so you can see things that we've gotten through there. So until next time, we're gonna be doing Flash, Arrow. So make sure you guys tune in for Flash, Arrow, Game of Thrones, all our other reactions. Make sure you subscribe. I'm Aaron.
I'm Eric.
And we'll see you guys in the Arrowverse.
Yep. See you later.
Button! Well, that's not the button!